What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is a fun one. It is going to be a full day of eating on the bulk, hence the Mass Gainer series title. Back to hopefully 2 videos a week now. Everything is kind of getting back in order to where I need it, to where I know I can make 2 videos a week. So here is video number 1, full day of eating. All right, guys, meal 1, we got 100 grams of egg whites with 1 whole egg mixed into that, and then another just fried whole egg alongside protein shake. I would typically put this into coffee. Focus. Doesn't want to focus, but Premier Protein Shake. I typically put that in my coffee, you know, for the morning hit of caffeine, but I'm just gonna be having this Ghost sour strip drink on the side instead. Total calories and macros will be on screen now. I like to keep it no carbs or keto for the first meal. Helps with insulin sensitivity, which in the long run is a good thing for overall health, metabolic processes, and actually gaining muscle. So I do like to keep the first meal either really light on carbs or no carb. So I'll see you at meal 2. All right, we got meal number 2 going down. This is not the pre-workout meal. Pre-workout meal will be a little bit more of like a snack. This is simply 300 grams of cooked white rice. I measure rice cooked. I measure my meats or proteins raw with 8 ounces of raw 96.4 beef, 96% lean, 4% fat, with some lettuce, onions, and ketchup and mustard. Kind of ran out of sugar-free ketchup, but this is kind of what I guess just like a burger bowl, I suppose. It just kind of tastes burger-like, and a slice of Velveeta cheese. Typically, I would do fat-free cheese slices, but they don't make them anymore, the kind that I get, so that's unfortunate. Total macros and calories will be on screen there for this meal. I'm going to eat this. Sometimes I take a nap, sometimes I don't. I'm not feeling very nappy today, so I might just do something productive instead. Also, I'm not sure if I'm training legs or back today. We will see. All right, pre-workout meal here. We have 2 servings of just Rice Krispies. These are just the Halloween edition, that's why they're orange. And then about 2/3 of this. And then I'm also going to have a Gorilla Bar. So total calories and macros will be on screen for that meal. I also make sure I have one of these every day, just some kind of electrolyte mix, just thrown to water. I like to have 2 or 3 shaker cups worth of water in me before I lift, so 2 or 3 of those. Hydration is very important for a good pump, especially your electrolyte balance, so make sure you are kind of taking care of your hydration the way you should. Also, this meal is when I'll take most of my oral supplements, so vitamin D, magnesium, beef liver, that kind of stuff, but I will save that for another video. But I believe it's time for gym footage for you guys. I'm gonna do a voiceover of the workout explaining what I'm doing, so yeah, we'll cut to that. Alright guys, we have made it to the gym. I completely forgot to record my first 2 exercises. The first exercise was just a V-bar lat pull down for 3 sets, as well as 2 sets of lateral raises. Decided to hit back and shoulders today. So the first primary shoulder movement here is Smith machine shoulder press. Went a little bit heavier on this today. Tried to get anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. Again, not really counting reps, just going to failure. Wherever my reps end, that's where they end. Not sure how many reps that was, but I did 2 sets heavy like that, and then I went on to do 1 lighter, more slow squeezing set. So there is the Smith machine shoulder press. Alright, up next we have a hammer strength plate loaded. I guess it's a pull down. depending on where you position your hands and how you position your body, you can kind of target different parts of the back. But this is really kind of rhomboid lat focused. I went a little bit heavier on this one. I did 3 plates. Typically I'll do 2.5, sometimes with one hand, sometimes with both hands. But I do think it is very important to have a mixture of heavier and lighter sets. So on a movement like this, sometimes I would do 2 or 3 heavy sets and then 1 or 2 lighter sets, or maybe vice versa. This I just did 2 heavy sets of 3 plates to failure on both of my sets, because you gotta hit failure, otherwise you're just not really doing much. Here's another angle of this exercise here. As you can see, just walking around in between sets as I do. Rest in between sets is actually something that isn't talked about enough. I see a lot of people, they'll just kind of go right into their next set after 30 seconds or a minute. That isn't enough time for your body to kind of replenish its ATP stores and also to bring your heart rate down a little bit. So to really maximize each set that you're doing, make sure you're getting an adequate amount of rest in between each set. I like 1.5 minutes on a movement like this, somewhere closer to 3 or 4 minutes if I'm doing a squat or a leg press. Something simple, maybe like a bicep curl, you could probably get away with 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, but for me personally, I think the 2-minute rest in between sets is definitely the way to go. Here I'm hitting the second set here. My lats were pretty tired at this point, especially after my first back movement, and then after 1 heavy set of this, I think I only got 8 full reps here, and then maybe 12 half reps. Yeah, there you can see I'm starting to struggle. Again, I'm going to failure, which means I just can't really move the weight anymore, as you can see here. That's going to cause hypertrophy. That's going to cause growth, and my back is adequately sore and fatigued today. So there is the second back movement, first back movement that you got to see. Alright, up next, one of the most neglected muscles that I see for just average gym goers, or even people who call themselves bodybuilders. I guess if you're building muscle, you are technically a bodybuilder, but anyways, rear delts are often very neglected. As you can see, mine are not very big, I guess. I never really used to train them a ton, but as you can see, they're getting a little bit of a pump here. They are growing a little bit, but that rear delt is really what's going to make it's really going to give your shoulders a complete look. Most people have good front delts, good side delts, because they do a bunch of pressing along with like lateral raises. People think that just hitting back is enough to target your rear delts. I don't agree. First set I did here, you can see, was just both hands. Second set I went in to do 1 arm at a time, which I've never done before, but it felt good. Sitting sideways on the seat, you can get yourself a little bit more of a stretch on that rear delt. And here is that single arm set. Like I said, I've never done this before, so it did take a little bit to get used to. The path of the machine kind of angles up a little bit, so it's not straight out to the side. But once I kind of got a good feel for it as far as hand positioning and muscle contraction, it actually ended up feeling pretty good. It actually felt better on the left arm once I had a little bit of practice with the right arm. I did need to go a little bit heavier because this machine inherently isn't super heavy or resistant. I don't know why, it's just how it's made. But yeah, so typically I really hit shoulders kind of every day. I don't really have a shoulder specific day, but on all of my upper body days, I'll do a bit of maybe a anterior delt, so front delt movement. I'll usually always do a lateral delt or side delt movement, and once or twice a week I'll do usually twice a week I'll do a specific rear delt targeted exercise like this one here. You can see sitting sideways on the seat allows you to get a much bigger stretch on that muscle. And when hypertrophy training, it is really important to get yourself into a position where you can get a muscle with a stretch under load. Alright, here is a movement that I don't do a lot. I never used to do them, but I have been incorporating them a little bit. is barbell shrugs. One of the things I noticed about my physique is that my traps are not super developed, even though I've been deadlifting for a very long time. So I have been throwing in some heavy-ish shrugs. This is only 275 pounds. I've been dealing with a little bit of sciatic nerve pain slightly recently, as well as a very minor adductor tear. It's actually referred to as a sports hernia. It's not the typical hernia that you're thinking of, but I have been trying to give my spine a little bit of a break, as well as I haven't hit legs in about 10 days now, trying to rest my adductor. As we can see here, I lean a little bit forward, shrug up. Like this, actually, I wanted to do 2 sets here. This is my 3rd set that I didn't want to do because I forgot to press record. But here are the shrugs. As you can see, moderately, pretty controlled, not really throwing the weight around a bunch, but making sure to get a nice contraction on the traps and try to look like an absolute beefcake, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, this will be the 2nd rear delt exercise of the day. I really like this one. These are just reverse dumbbell flies, pointing the pinky up towards the sky, trying not to activate your traps or your rhomboids, but really trying to squeeze those rear delts, which I've gotten really good at with practice. I started off using 12.5 pound dumbbells for these, and I'm up to the 20s now, so definitely some obvious rear delt improvement. The other movement that I like for rear delts is just reverse cable flies. I think those are probably my favorite, but having a different stimulus for all of your movements is a good thing. So make sure you have good variety, but not too much to the point where your exercise specificity is lacking. And this is just another angle of the rear delt flies. As you can see, I was kind of bringing my torso up a little bit with a little bit of momentum. I caught myself, tried to stop it. It is totally okay to use momentum towards the end of an exercise that you're doing when you're approaching failure, just because it just gives you that little bit extra, I guess, metabolite recruitment in your cells, which is just hypertrophic in itself. If you're doing every single rep with added momentum, you're not gonna target the muscle the way you are intending to. But just to get yourself closer to failure or past failure, momentum is it's totally fine to add a little bit of swing into your sets. Alright, moving into the next back movement here. This is a hammer strength plate loaded row. This machine is pretty interesting. It has a seat and a pad for your chest on it. When I use the seat, I think the machine feels terrible, so I just stand and put my upper stomach, lower chest on the pad. And the whole pulling motion of it seems a little bit weird too. You got vertical handles to target more of your lats, pull a little bit lower. Then you have horizontal handles up higher to target more of your mid-upper back. But what I don't like about it is that those horizontal handles are a little bit slanted. They're not perfectly parallel with the ground. So you do tend to recruit a little bit of biceps when you're using this. As you can see, my arms aren't straight out to the side like I would like in a row. But when I'm doing the movement, I don't feel it exactly where I would like to. But when I'm done with the movement, I can feel the pump where I would like to. So it's super goofy, but I do like the machine. It works, and I was a little bit crooked on that, and I need to fix that immediately. Alright, the next movement here is another back movement. These are called lat pullovers. You can do these with one arm or 2 arms. These are very good to just really specifically target the lat. It's not super systemically fatiguing. All the other back movements that I did this day were pretty systemically fatiguing as far as being heavy and recruiting a lot of muscles. This is very, very lat specific. As you can see here, I'm doing one arm at a time, really focusing on squeezing that lat to bring my humerus down. Kind of really thinking about squeezing the origin point of my lat, which is down by your hips. That will keep you from using too much of your upper back, as well as your kind of extending with the tricep in a little way you are using your tricep here just to stabilize your full arm. And then I did end up moving into doing this with 2 hands. I found a cool little attachment that I will show you here. So I found this little long rope thingy with 2 little handles on it, and this is perfect because it allows you to bring your hands farther down and back without running into your body like you would with just a typical rope that you would find. Sometimes I'll put 2 of the ropes on to one of the attachments like that and fully pull the ropes through one way, so it kind of ends up being like that there. But since this was accessible, I thought, hey, this is perfect, because sometimes when you do that with the ropes, it can be a little bit uneven because of the way just the ropes are built. But this is a great movement, like I said, to target the lat specifically. Not super heavy movement, so it's not super fatiguing, but it allows for a really good contraction. This rope was actually a touch too long. I couldn't quite get the full stretch on the lats that I wanted, but overall this movement felt great, and this is one of my favorite ways to finish a back day.
Now I'll show you the Kaioken!
Alright guys, we are back from the gym. As you can see, decided to do back and shoulders. Tomorrow will be legs, and then Saturday probably be chest and biceps. So when I got home, I just had, full transparency on this YouTube channel, I just had cookie dough. Why did I have cookie dough? Reason number 1 being really fast glucose, fast digesting sugar to get glycogen into the muscles, because your body can uptake protein much better when your glycogen stores are full. So on top of cookie dough, I had another one of these, 30 grams of protein in that protein shake. I'm probably gonna head back to the gym in a couple hours to do a little bit more cardio. I think tan too, honestly, because I'm white as hell, and do some like foam rolling, stretching type stuff. And then dinner for the last few nights has been steak. I don't eat the same thing every day on a bulk like I did on my cut or my prep. Typically, or really just because I don't have to. I kind of eat the same general outline of things. Sorry, my SD card ran out of storage. Oh, I was saying I don't eat the same thing every day on a bulk because I just don't have to. I don't need that much structure. What I do like to do is keep the macros pretty similar day to day. Fat and carbs might vary a little bit, but I want my protein at least like 215, 220 grams a day. Carbs may vary 25 to 50 grams. Fat may vary 15 to 20 grams a day, but general guidelines for macros are the same, just because, you know, consistency is the key to success. So yeah, not sure if there's gonna be much after this. So yeah, I'm gonna do steak for dinner, and then I think tomorrow morning I'll recap on the full day of eating. Let's make this steak. Okay guys, alright guys, that is going to conclude the full day of eating. Total calories and macros on screen. Fat was a little bit higher than I would typically like it, and carbs were a little bit lower than I typically like them. I just had some foods that I typically have, I just didn't have access to them that day. And I also had McDonald's that night because it was National Burger Day and burgers were 50 cents. But yeah, I like to keep most of my carbs pre and post workout just to maintain insulin sensitivity. It's good for you, it's good for bodybuilding. It's good for all things, honestly. If you would like to learn more about that, leave a comment. If you like, is there anything that you'd like to learn more about, leave a comment. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will do another one of these when the calories get higher. Calories are actually pretty low right now. My weight gain is pretty slow, which is a good thing. I still have ab veins and crazy leg veins and still fairly lean, so I definitely put on a good amount of mass, as in actual contractile tissue, since the show, so that's all good. Probably gonna end the bulk around Christmas time, but that's the plan as of now. Like I said, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Deuces.